I look so pale. Why do I look so pale? I don't know. I really like my shirt. Just so you guys know, there's a Bambi on it. Feet. Yep. All right, I'm just waiting for some people to hop on. There's a beautiful sunset outside my window right now. Okay. I'm gonna start talking. And there's a few things I want to talk about today. So, where should I begin? Hi, there's someone there. Where should I begin? So I titled this video, I think I titled it Karma, Manifestation, and Knowing Your Power. And that might change depending on what we end up talking about. But someone in the last stream asked that I talk about karma. And I'm not sure that I've ever talked about that. And then someone else emailed me about knowing that you're powerful. So those are really good topics and I want to talk about them. And then I also just want to kind of start this off by saying, again, I know I haven't been posting regular videos and it's really because I'm doing like things differently. I'm doing things way differently just for me in my life right now. And I don't want to be the kind of person who just parrots back what everyone else is saying on YouTube. I want to like speak from experience, from knowing, which is what I have been doing, but now I'm kind of in a new realm and so I'm like waiting to see, I'm waiting for the dirt to settle before I can really speak on it. But with that, what do I want to say? I want to say that, like, first of all, guys, like, it's not like be careful who you listen to, but don't give up your power, right? Don't give up your power to other people. Don't just assume that other people know better than you because it's your reality. And so you decide what works for you and you decide how things come about, you know, like, and I'm using the word manifestation, but it's like, know that manifestation is basically like a new trending word for like the way that life works, meaning that life works differently for everyone and you have been manifesting your entire life, to use that word. So manifestation is easy and effortless because like you don't have to think about waking up. You don't have to think about like the way that your reality unfolds right now is absolutely effortless. It just does it automatically. Hi. So that's why like manifestation is effortless. But people who are like, oh, you shouldn't have to try to manifest. Or, I mean, yes, I get it, don't try. But like, oh, it should be effortless. It should be easy. You should just like set it and forget it. And da da da. Like, yes, first of all, let's like have an intention that everything is easy. Let's do that. And we're not actually talking about like manifestation when it comes down to that. We're talking about like reprogramming our minds and changing the story. And sometimes that takes a little bit of effort. Don't give up your power. Hey. Yeah, so sometimes things take effort. And by effort, by the way, I just mean like continuous attention and intention. You know, it's not like hard, it's not like trying, but it's continuous like showing up and saying, no, I choose this now, I choose this now, I choose this now, I choose this now. And another thing that like this is something that I'm particularly experiencing is it takes a lot of faith, and it takes a lot of trust, and it takes a lot of just like confidence and bravery and guts to be, how do I say this, to be holding awareness and holding intention for something that does not seem to be in the 3D, does not seem to be present. Because normally what we're used to is we cling to that like like a railing, you know? We go like, this is what's real. This is what's real. This is what I have. And even if we don't like it, it's confirmation of like, okay, I'm safe. Like, I have ground beneath my feet. Even if we don't like the ground, we have ground. And so to be manifesting or trying to like change our perception of things, trying to, sorry, my bangs are like going crazy places, to be trying to like completely rework our identities and our understanding of how our reality works, it might feel a little bit shaky at times. And so that, I'm not going to say that's effort, but like, I wouldn't say that's effortless. I wouldn't say like, that's easy. I would say that takes some steadiness, right? And some, just some showing up every day. Hi. What? That's so sweet. You're the highlight of my week. I do really, really look forward to these, you guys. Like, I know it's very small, but I love that it's small and that it's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying this a lot. So yeah, I guess that's just something I want to say because, again, I like watch a lot of manifestation videos on YouTube, and it really annoys me when coaches are like, you guys are doing it wrong, or don't do this, don't do that, or it should be easy, you're trying too hard. Because, and this is something I think people sometimes mistake the view from the mountain to climbing the mountain. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so they are standing from a place that where everything is easy and calm and still, and they're saying, look guys, like, that's how I did it. Like, that's where you have to be at, because that's where I'm at now. And it's like, there's a different process. It's different. And people also, by the way, like, looking back to how they got to where they got, first of all, we're not always very accurate or very good at knowing how we got to where we got. And so you might think you know how it happened, and basically you're just saying like, these are the rules that worked for me. That doesn't necessarily mean that those are the rules for how it works. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how you get to the top of the mountain. Okay? Like, there are many ways to get to the top of the mountain. And all you have to do is know, like, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And you don't necessarily have to listen to what that person says or take the trail that that person took. Okay? I didn't explain something correctly, but maybe I'll get back to it. Maybe I'll have language to describe that. Anyway, okay, so that's put there. Let's talk about karma. Let's talk about karma first of all. Okay, I forget who asked me this about karma. So I'm going to be kind of annoying in my response about this. Karma is a thing and it isn't a thing. Hey, what's up? So karma is a thing and it is not a thing. And what I mean by that is like anything, if you believe in something, if you believe something has power over you, it has power over you. So if you like enroll in karma being a thing and having an effect on your life, on your destiny, on your family destiny, on humanity's destiny, I don't know, then karma absolutely does have a place and does have an effect on you, and there's like a balancing order to the universe, and oh, you did that mean thing over there, therefore now you're gonna get knocked down, and you know, like, that absolutely can exist. But what I would say is actually happening in that situation, it all transcends. You gotta master both. What I would actually say is, like, if you believe bad things happen to people who do bad things, then you're gonna see evidence of that. Your brain is like scanning to confirm your belief, to hold you in this gravitational pull that is your assumptions, that is like your reality. Okay, so it's gonna mirror back, it's gonna reflect back everything you assume, everything you believe. So it's gonna reflect back karma. It's gonna say, look, that happened, or oh, you did this, so that like now bad stuff is coming to you, or good stuff is coming to you. So, but what's actually happening there is like you're doing that. That's you. That's you. You can also have a belief that like, you know, um, bad things happen to good people. Like you can have the opposite kind of effect. And you can also, to talk kind of about like ancestral karma, or is that how I want to put it? Like people really do believe in that kind of like long held, yeah, just like ancestral grief or trauma, or that there's all these like lines connecting you to your family members, and that's affecting and playing out in your life right now. Like I've gone down that path a little bit, and I would say no, it's just the same thing. It's like your family is who you make them out to be. And again, is like a mirror of you. So if you're seeing like, oh, I have this pattern that like my mother also had and my grandmother also had, yeah, they are reflections of you. They are reflections of you, where you're standing. Okay, and they can shift. So you shift your story, and their story shifts as well. And I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense because of time, but yeah, time doesn't really matter, guys. It doesn't really matter, at least from where I'm standing. Okay, so that's like everything I do you guys have any questions about that, about karma? So again, yeah, there's no like, the only real karma I think there is that like it's a reflection back on your assumptions. And so there will be like something pushed out, there will be like a consequence or something happening in the 3D that like is reacting to you. But I wouldn't say that's karma. I just think that's a fancy word we put on it. Yeah, you define you. Absolutely. You're not your ancestors. Time time is an illusion. Time is a construct. It's just like something, again, to like locate us, to like, in the same way I was talking about like a railing. We're like, right, it's this time, and like it's this place, and it's like we know where we are. But if you actually pay attention, and like this is really where I'm at in my head right now, which is kind of why I'm like, I'm not making videos until like things kind of cool down for me, is like, so Eckhart Tolle is right. There's only now. And what I mean by that is, at least like this is how I'm experiencing time, is like there are just snapshots. It's like snapshots. And if you actually like start really paying attention to where you are at all times, you're like, how did I end up here? How did I end up here? How did I end up here? And they're all like different times, and they've been strung together through your like memories of things. But you start messing with this, and you like, it really starts breaking down, and you're like, oh, I get to manipulate everything within my head. Everything. I can decide, like, I can decide everything. And so it stops being as like linear, is what I would say. At least that's really, really what I'm experiencing. I am a little bit familiar with Carl Jung. I really like Jung. I much prefer him to Freud. Much. People can't, yes, they can. Like, I don't know why we don't talk about that. And also, people like disappear. There are so many like weird mysteries, and actually that would be a really fun video to do, of just like unexplained mysteries that people just like dismiss, that it makes no sense. Don't hug me, I'm scared. Oh, I don't know what we live in 3 dimensions of position and space-time is one of those coordinates. I've actually heard it too, that like the 4D is actually the element of time. Like, you know how they're like, oh, we're in the 3D, but we're ascending to 5D, and the reason that we skip over 4D, we don't like really live in 4D, is because 4D is like, has to do with time in some capacity. And again, I don't like fully understand that. But what I would say about time, and maybe this is like, if any of you guys like are interested in trying this, is like I am revising. I'm just like playing around with revising a lot. And for those of you maybe who don't know, like revision is like changing the past. Is saying like, no, that didn't happen. Like this is what happened. This is what happened. Or what if this happened? Or I want this to happen right now. And when you start doing that, you start like paying attention to like who you are being in relation to a past in the present moment. And when you're like changing that, you're like, oh, all of those past moments are just existing in a present moment. That's all. That's the only place they're existing. That's the only place they can exist. You can't step into the same river twice. And so when you start doing that and you start like selecting past, then you're like, time just, at least for me, time like breaks down because you're like, no, there's only right now. There's only right now and whatever, at whatever coordinate I want it to be at, if that makes sense. Basically, 4D doesn't view time in a linear fashion like we do. Past, present, and future are constants. Are constants. Yeah, I think that makes sense. In that they all exist and we're just like selecting them, right? You have a... Yeah, I'm curious like what you read and what you, if you're obsessed with this, I'm really curious like where you go with this. Because it sounds like you've been researching this or reading books or watching things about this. So what do you read? Akumu? Because I'm really interested in this too. Obviously. Okay, let's share notes. Okay. Yeah, I was like into this at some point, and then I got distracted. It's also like something that in the past I haven't been that open about. Like I've just been afraid to talk about it before then, after, and now. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's put like time aside for a second and talk about knowing your power. Okay. You guys are all like really powerful. We're so powerful. We're so powerful. I think we have like untapped power that we don't even know about. Whenever you see like a child prodigy and you're like, oh my God, how is that possible? Yeah, that's possible. Of course that's possible. Anything is possible. I think what people just get stuck in like what's habitual, and they get stuck in identity, and they get stuck in like, again, they get stuck in the 3D. They get stuck in like, well, this is what life is. This is what we do. This is how we are. This is like what's on the menu for us, and that's it. And there's nothing off the menu. I'm not saying it's easy to like jump there, but there is nothing off the menu, because there can't be. Untapped power. Yeah, there can't be anything off the menu, okay? But it's for you, and whatever you're seeing that looks like a limitation, that's again just like a reflection of you. So the more that like you tap into your own unlimitless, no, let me use a different word. You're like infiniteness, you know, like your power, then that starts getting like pushed out, and you'll see more and more of that. And actually, like, I'm seeing just having this conversation is kind of proof of that, in that I remember being like, oh, people are like really waking up, and people are like really asking like some really deep questions, and like having really amazing, like everyone is just so like with it and smart and like questioning reality and having these, yeah, just having these conversations. And the more that I have like kept up that story, the more that I see that, and to the point where I'm like, I don't know where like we're going evolutionarily wise. That's a word. Yeah, and it's like being documented. I don't know, even if we just talk about like miraculous healing, like it's getting ordinary. It's getting normal now. At least like that's where I'm living. I'm like, oh yeah, that person like completely healed their brain tumor. Yeah, that happened. Because why not? And also because like health is just as easy as disease, you know? It's just selection. It's just, what do we want? What do we want? Quantum tunneling. Oh, I watched some kind of experiment on quantum tunneling. It was like a kid's experiment trying to explain it. Yeah. Okay, but something else that I thought I would talk about with like untapped power, I think this is related, but if the person who wanted me to talk about this is on, you might like specify what exactly you wanted me to say about this. Knowing your power. Yeah, so let me talk about a few things that have happened like in the last 24 hours for me in terms of this. So, yeah, whatever, maybe this seems like small, but I got into a conversation with someone yesterday and they were going over something in the past. I love how this is like all full circle. Something that happened in the past that was really upsetting to them. Okay. And I was like, we're not doing this. We're letting this go. We're letting this go. And they kind of lashed out at me, like kind of snarled at me and was like, well, that's easy for you to say. And I was like, yeah, it is easy for me to say. I get that. That doesn't change the fact that we're letting it go. Like, I get that it's hard. You know, I get that things can be hard. That doesn't mean that you don't do it. That doesn't mean that you don't choose, that you don't select something new. And people often are like, this is too much. Like, I can't do this. No, you can do this. Just because something's hard doesn't mean you can't do it. And if anything, you're using that as an excuse to not do something about it. You're using that as an excuse to like, oh, see, there's a boulder in my way. See, there's a boulder, so I have to stay here. I have to. It's hard. No. No, you just choose something else. And if it is hard, okay, but you keep choosing the something else. And that's part of your untapped power. And if you keep choosing it, and you keep choosing it, and you keep choosing it, and you keep choosing it, like nothing can stand up to you. Nothing, because you created all of it. Because like all you are is awareness, and it all exists only because of you. And if you perceive there to be a boulder, it's only because you placed it there. You placed it there. And so you're the one to dismantle it. Okay, and then, so whatever, that happened. And then I think this happened like right afterwards. I've been, and it was just like a funny, like, you know, ripple mirror kind of effect. I've been really into Demon Slayer lately. And there's like this one episode. It was like, it's the exact same situation. There's this one episode, I think it's like the first demon that Tanjiro fights. Do you guys watch Demon Slayer? Anyway, there's this demon that's been kidnapping 16-year-old girls. And so he's there like with one of the villagers who was there when one of the girls got taken, and it was his fiance. And you watch it, okay, maybe you know what episode I'm talking about. Anyway, and so like Tanjiro is such like a good example of someone who just like keeps like goes beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond. Check it out. Yeah, like he comes up against himself so many times, and there's a reason why we have stories about this, right? Like of like coming up against like, I can't do anymore, and then there's usually someone who's like, yes you can, do more. Anyway, so one of the villagers, I'm not gonna spoil it for you though, but I forget his name. Anyway, he's just lost his fiance, was eaten by a demon. And Tanjiro is like, you have to take this girl back to the village, like it's gonna be okay. And the guy snaps at him and he's like, you don't know what you're talking about, like I just lost my fiance, like do you know how hard this is for me? It was the exact same thing that I had like with my person. And Tanjiro like has had loss, whatever, so he just like smiles at him and like he knows. But it was the same look of like, yeah, it's hard, but you're going to do that. You're going to do it. So, like, that is such a different perspective than again, what I'm kind of worried some coaches are offering up in that like manifestation should be easy, or like, oh, you guys are doing it wrong, like just relax, or like sometimes things are hard, and it's what's hard is holding your awareness in a different space, in a different like, you know, just continuing, just persisting, just believing in something that doesn't look real, that doesn't look possible at this moment in time, but saying somehow it is possible, and I'm committing to that, and I'm choosing that again, and nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me, because I decide what I get to have, and I decide who I am, I decide how things happen, I decide what I get out of this life, and all of that. So like, that resource is infinite. There is always more. There is always more for you to draw from if you choose it. If you choose it, because it's your creation. Any like limitation is your creation, and any infinite bottom is your creation. So I think that like covers kind of knowing your power. But again, if there was like something more specific about that. I also, I guess, kind of wanted to say like use it. Use your power. If ever you guys get like triggered or angry or upset, it's a waste of your energy to like put it out into the world and like lash out at people into it, because they're just reflections of yourself. But that doesn't mean that anger is a waste. In fact, like I've met a lot of people who have been able to channel anger in like really, I mean, there's always like a bite, whatever, the person I'm thinking of specifically, but it's energy, and it can be fuel. Like there's incredible power behind anger. So I would say like you can use that not to lash out at whatever is causing the anger, but you can use that as fuel, like just transform it and use it to like keep you strong and keep you going, you know. And probably the same can be said about like grief as well. You get that less often. Is that true about grief? But definitely like fear too. Any emotion is just like there's such like energy behind it, which is why we're so affected by it, which is why like it leaves such a mark on us, you know. But we get to decide like how that energy is transmuted or where it's funneled into. So use that. Use everything to your advantage. Oh, there's like some anime conversation going on. Anyway, okay guys, so that's like can give you good, can it also give you burdens? Can you clarify that question? Manifestation giving you burdens? Yeah. Manifestation is really just like conscious creation. That's a better way to think about it. And it's different than just blanket manifestation, because manifestation again is just like everything is a manifestation. Time is a manifestation. Your thoughts are a manifestation. Your feelings are a manifestation. You know, like everything that exists is manifest. So conscious creation is kind of more specific, meaning that like, okay, now we're switching. Like we're not just reacting anymore. We're not just like kind of, oh, like it's almost like we've been asleep at the wheel, but we have been driving a car. And then we're like, oh, why is the car on fire? And then we're like waking up, we're like, oh, it's because we drove it off, I don't know. Forgive me for this analogy, but we've always been driving the car just like without knowing the controls. yeah. Yeah, you just put in the work and you just put in like, you just put your, it's like, I was thinking of this today on a walk. It was like, this is, I think, why it's quote unquote hard. It's like, the best way I can describe it is it's like we have a reality that we have like our own gravitational pull within our reality, right? And it's working for us because it's like giving us a whole reality that like makes logical sense. It doesn't actually make but like on the surface it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty good. Okay? And so it's pulling in and keeping out all of these things that would mess with our assumptions about how the way things work. Okay? And so when we start saying like, no, I don't like this little planet over here. I want to go into another gravitational pull. Okay, then you have to like get yourself out of that gravity, out of that like atmosphere, you know? And so that's going to be really scary because you've gotten used to this. And it's like, I don't know, it's just the way things are. So it's like you have to continuously just put yourself in a different room, in a different room, in a different room. And you're gonna like keep kind of, at the beginning, you're gonna like keep reverting back because you're like, what? No, we live here, we live here. So it's just like that continuous, like, nope, nope, we live over here now. We live on this planet now. This is the gravity we have now. This is the gravity we have now. This is the atmosphere that we're choosing. And it gets easier the more you do it, the more you like acclimate to your new planet, if this makes sense. So that's why it's like hard, but it's not hard. It's just continuous dedication, I guess. And yeah, which isn't hard. Okay, guys, do you have anything you want me to talk about or anything else on your mind? Anime? I guess not. You're all very smart, I have to say. Do I believe in reincarnation? And have I seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I have not. What is that? Should I? And do I believe in reincarnation? That's a good question. Do I? Right now, let me see if I can describe what I believe. Right now, the way I see it is that like, yes, I do believe in it, but it's not like what we think. In some ways, I kind of feel like every second we're reincarnated into a different reality. But we still have like a strong identification with the one that we have. So we keep like showing up as what looks like us. But I think it's like if there is reincarnation, it's instantaneous. And I also think that that like death is a kind of reincarnation, meaning that like I think it's all seamless and continuous. Like, and if you think about it, there's no like, I used to think there was like a waiting room. Sometimes people talk about that. They're like, oh yeah, like you're living on Earth. It all feels very much like time, the way people describe it. Like, okay, you live like this amount of years on Earth, and then you go into like the afterlife and you review your life story. And then you decide, oh, okay, I want to go back down. And there's like this kind of there's time to it. Like within that frame, it sounds like there's time to it. And I think it's way more chaotic than that. In that I've read some books about what happens after we die that sounds like everyone's death experience is just as different as everyone's life experience. So in that way too, like who you are after you pass on is like a kind of reincarnation, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I really answered your question, but that's kind of what I believe. Yeah, like I do really think that we're all one. So it's just it's just standing from a different place. And again, if time is an illusion, then it doesn't matter like what year we're living in or what like the linear quality dissolves. And maybe even like the worlds dissolve, you know. Meaning like, I don't know if I believe in this, but there's like people who are like, yeah, there's anime worlds. 100%. There's like worlds that where Harry Potter is the world. Hogwarts is real. And that's kind of going with that, like, there are infinite realities, meaning that anything that you can imagine does actually exist. So any fiction that exists has to exist. Like anything that has been thought up has to. Those TikTokers, yeah. I'm not saying like I subscribe to that, but if you, I see how they got there. I see how they got that, like, if there's infinite realities, there's infinite realities. So. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting. It'd be kind of interesting to look like an anime person. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I can't speak to it, and I don't want to speak to things that, like, I haven't experienced. And again, it's you pushed out, so. It's just as long as people have attachment to them. Yeah. It's all very complicated when you start thinking about, though, like with everyone is you pushed out, where it's like, so other people have attachments to these things, but you have attachment to those people having attachments to those things. So it kind of just never ends. And that's kind of what I mean about, like, we're all one. Like, it's all existing just from different vantage points. But, like, we're all actually holding the same space, like, simultaneously. The space, whatever, like, to use that word. But just from a different place. From it, like, we're just a facet on, like, an infinite diamond. Yeah, that is, like, contributing to the overall thing. Like, we're all a ship. We're just a ship. Okay, guys, I'm probably gonna go. Yeah, I hope you're, like, having a lovely Saturday. And is there anything, like, yeah, anything you want to talk about next week or in the future? I'm going to take that as a resounding no. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, guys. Love you so much. I'll see you on the next one. How do I close?